So, this is Glitters now. I'm speccing this one. I'm not playing because I literally was about to get into a Glitters classic lobby, if you will. And then I noticed on the maps list this freaky looking map that also said Glitters next to it. And I was like, alright, let's beep this shit, you know? Let's see, what's the differences? Hills are changed, no geo in the canyon. The middle of the map looks a lot more like the moon. Kind of depressing, actually, aesthetically. In terms of symmetry, we do still have the classic asymmetry that is most prominent with the eco spots, right? No hill here, but there is a hill here, so how you lay out your base has to be planned differently. And in particular, if you're making a row of build turrets that have to go in a direction, this might get in your way for that. You got to plan around that, whereas that's not the case over here. But other aspects of the map, such as the canyons, look pretty symmetrical. In the middle, where's the big mixes? We got one here, we got one here, got one here, and here. Yes, so this is sort of the big sort of box that you're fighting over if you're a mid player, right? Like, this is what you're... Okay, this is a very optimistic line to draw, but you know what? I respect it. Now, what I really can't wait to check out once the game gets going is the pathability of these hills. Where can you run vehicles? Where can you run bots? Which parts are totally unpathable, even for a commander? Because it looks like this canyon is frankly going to be a lot easier to defend. And I was seeing in the game chat...
started.
I'll show you real quick. You can see Discord chat coming into the game over here. And it looked... I won't read that all because, frankly, it looks like it's getting heated. But it looks like there's some conversations being had about the balance of this map, which is expected when it's a new map. But it's... I want to tell you, if you're up to date on that, I am not. So don't expect me to be summarizing what you already know to you. I like to go into these things fresh and figure it out for myself. But yeah, I mean, certain things certainly are the same. You know, the classic asymmetry and the air spots mechs layout also preserved. The locations of reclaim look about the same as before. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but I think it might be. And yeah, let's see. Now that we got... Let's grab a commander here. And let's look at pathability for commanders. Okay, this is a no-go. There might be a little spot right there. I'm not sure. But yeah, these things that look like cliffs are indeed... yeah, someone else is wondering the same thing. For the most part, no. Definitely not. I really do wonder about this little sliver here. And then going over... Is that mirrored? Actually, this side looks more unambiguously untraversable. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, so I mean, like, you could imagine setting up plasma bots on these hills, gauntlets for the same reason, or agitators, if you will, and so on and so forth. Now, the comms have an easier time climbing hills than ticks do, so let's see what a tick sees of this map. The other thing, come to think of it, that is different about this is with positioning for LRPCs, right? Because now the whole canyon is elevated, so you don't get an advantage from building the LRPC on a hilled region of it. You could build it frickin' anywhere. And in a weird way, the removal of the geo actually makes that more attractive, because even though it makes it slower to scale your eco in the canyon, it is going to mean that you don't have to worry about the entire canyon blowing up. Unless you build APHIS in here, which you might do, but presumably you put those back there. I also wonder, in terms of targeting from an LRPC, does the canyon shield the back corner player more than it used to, right? Because, like, you always kind of got shielded, but I feel like it might be even better now. I don't know, it's hard to tell. I can't honestly wait to see how this plays out. I really hope this goes long. This game itself, fairly standard, minor skirmishing in mid, no major harass coming through so far on either side. This is a reasonably strong game, not top level, but like I'd say mid level. You know, the bottom got some curious usernames over there, but the bottom level is, you know, it's below average. But we got 29 OS, we got 28, 26, 23, 22. sitting in here as well, so not so bad. And in particular, with green on eco, I'm hoping that that team will have some things to show us. One more Aphis in the corner spot, probably also going to be eco greeting pretty hard here, if this early build is any indication. We've got two, are those rovers or rascals? Those are rovers out on the field so far. And that's about it. Interestingly slow getting these mexes up, but maybe that's just a tactic to not let them die to harass by not building them in the first place. And now this 0-unit strat, or excuse me, 2-unit strat, is starting to look questionable. Alright, getting that out just in time. That was a close call there. Now, over here, similarly, harass going to be deflected. Grunts extraordinarily good at killing anything that comes into their range with high accuracy, however their range and speed are minimal. So, luckily, if you don't run away from them, they can still be effective. However, they're getting pulled out of position, so maybe these guys are going to do better. Now this, yeah, no longer a flank angle. So that's actually an interesting defensive change in this map, is that this is a lot harder to get through, at least without things like spiders.
Commander, self-destructed.
And makes it much easier to defend Canyon, right? Because you worry about this, and that's it, and those are all fairly close to each other. There's no building your LLTs to protect this flank angle, and then, oh no, they had 5 too many pawns for your LLTs to handle it, so now you lose anyway. You know, that sort of thing. And, how do I kind of wonder if I want to turn off chat here, because I feel like some of these players are going to be... I'll leave it on for now. In these lower level lobbies, you often do see people, communicating inefficiently, I'll put it that way. Now, the air coming online for both sides. Air players not especially strong on either team, but they look, you know, reasonably evenly matched. And, man, don't build them in rows of 2, so they don't chain react. Truly, it's unbelievable. This is something everyone should know. This is truly one of those things that everyone who plays this game should know. And, they don't. Similarly over here, this just, oh my god, I truly, I can't handle it, man. Look at blue. Watch how blue does it. Blue knows what they're doing. Red doing putting an L shape in here, you know, that's a little bit avant-garde, but I'll allow it. This, however, I will not allow. You do not get a pass on this. The fact that there's a fire break here makes it marginally better, but this is still really upsetting to look at, and especially as a front player who needs to plan on what happens if I get pushed, you just gotta handle it better than that, my friend. But yeah. Yeah, the classic part of the game where where you have to tell people to build... This is what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 metal per second, which would more than double Green's current metal income, and they've had 6 minutes to build it. So you really gotta wonder, what the fuck are you thinking, and are you actually trying to stay viable past, like, the 5-minute mark in this game? It's an open question, I would say. Now, I guess if I was to defend this, I would say the eco spot is where it is least unforgivable to do this, because eco is the one position where if you get pushed in the first place, that's already a failing on someone's part. Like, that's not supposed to happen. Yeah, blue correctly going around and building these. I say correctly because the most important thing is for someone to build them. Yeah, and air helping out as well. Nice to see. But basically, I think realistically the only thing that eco expects to get in here might be bombers, and in that case, like, the game's probably over no matter how these are laid out. So arguably being space efficient and making sure that you can reclaim them efficiently once you get your Aphis online, meaning that you fill up the entire space around the build turret without gaps. I can see a case being made for that being a good idea. The counter argument is that, like, 2/3 of the space, or at least half of the space, from these build turrets is unoccupied, and even at the end of this build queue that will remain the case. And so arguably you have enough slack, so to speak, that you could put some gaps in there. But it's a small issue. It's just a huge pet peeve of mine. Now let's watch this commander interaction over here. I like this with the beholder. Let's see how much that gets you. Yeah, no line of sight, so it doesn't actually work and it gets degunned immediately. But I like the thought of edge building, that you did not necessarily know the commander was there. That could have been a good idea. On this side, we do see mexes correctly being taken. And, yeah, let's see. How is this going to develop here? Small push into the canyon. And yeah, we see artillery getting set up on both sides here. And yeah, this early gauntlet coming up, this is sort of what I was wondering about and what I wanted to see, is how viable is this? I mean, frankly, this is too far forward, and I bet you can degun this from the low ground. If it were back like here, that would be a lot harder to degun, and the effective range would still be plenty. So we'll see if that happens. Carlo X, the 28 OS, is very close by, and hypothetically should know about this interaction, but we'll see. I mean, I guess if you don't have a lock on exactly where... Actually, never mind, they do know. Wait. This is player view for the wrong... I wanted to see... Oh, Carlo X is on the same team as the Gauntlet and will not be degunning it. Yeah, Crazy Rampage and Chicken 4T do not know precisely where this is, and they could not get to it if they knew. Because of Carlos. Now, in mid, we have that classic dug-in position. We got our artillery, we got our tanks, we got our other artillery, we got our heavy turret. We got build turrets even repairing everything up. That's the mark of an actual good player. That's really, I think, where you jump from low level to like mid to high level play, is when you're building those build turrets where you need repairs, not just where you need like construction. You know what I mean? Getting them in reasonable locations close to the front line. Super, super underrated move that we see no one else in this lobby going for. So that's 29 OS for you. And Nick Owensby over here trying to be active with these units, but apparently having a little bit of anxiety about actually walking into firing range, despite outranging everything except these two Rocketeers on the other side. But maybe will be incited into bravery by this big tank push, which actually could get degunned in a big way by one more APHIS here. Does the degun look different than it used to?
Commander,
Was that a
destroyed.
Lightbringer thing? That looks really nice. One more APHIS could have been more efficient with those deguns, could have survived that, but oh well. And now, starting up the spam behind this is certainly a move. Wow, 4 wide over here. I don't know, man. I just don't think that's good. This spam, yep. Oh, dude, if they get these wins, I will cry with happiness. This kill wind, OMG. Did they lessen about chain reacting? It's educational. Oh, okay, this actually is a good point, is that you can repair them if they're all in build turret range. So that's another advantage. Oh well. Caster curse, as it were. As soon as you want something to happen, you instantly preclude it from happening. Very polite of the specs to be erasing those pings. You have to actually hold down the ping and right-click to do that. It's something that does... I mean, I think it might happen automatically after a long timeout, but that was clearly a manual one. Which, I'm of two minds about it. Personally, I like leaving my pings there so at the end of the game they can see, oh my god, this was shit all over their base if they're playing shit. Rows of 2 are objectively better than big squares. I'll make a video about this sometime. In fact, I already kind of did. I made it short, but it didn't go into as much detail as it should have. So I'll probably revisit it. Now this is interesting, putting these walls up here. I don't entirely know if there's much benefit to that, but maybe there is. Obviously it's not going to affect the firing range because this guy can go high trajectory. Now this push into the canyon is going to be interesting. What happens here? I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but it is, you know, one of the only pieces of action happening on this board right now. So let's keep an eye on it. Mr. Big Balls with the Big Ball D guns coming in here. These Sheldons also doing a good job on defense. Now, interesting over here, getting the T2 lab up, seeing the scaling on the hill. I'm not used to this still. I'm like, that's not where that goes. but oh, they're one down on this side. Yeah, look at that. Who was it? Surprised there's no pause and there's no take. Or no, someone did take. Did someone get wiped out? As it said, you received one. Okay, Mo70 has rejoined, so that must have been a lag out. But, what has 0 range? The gauntlet? Oh, really? Firing onto the high ground. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
Commander has died.
I was a little bit mean, but I stand by what I said. Now, I do like the frontline rattlesnake here, doing a lot with a little. It's certainly, I mean, it's 25 metal, which is 29 for a T2 lab, so it's certainly a non-negligible investment. But my God, look how much return you get on that investment. Oh, Mo0 has rejoined the game and is asking to be given. Actually, that's kind of a cool trick to damage the T1 lab so you can eat it faster. That's a good one. I've not seen that before personally. I like that idea. Yeah, it is, honestly, I'll say it, Canyon OP. I think, let's look at the jammers here, because, yeah, they do have jammers up, and that's doing a lot for them. You need, like, oh my god, dude, stop pinging. It's really annoying. You need jammers up here to block this, and then you need Juno to kill the jammers, and it becomes an interesting little back and forth there. But, stop pinging, bro. If the first 50 didn't work, then the 50ers won't work. Actually, oh shit. He gives it back right as I'm halfway telling him to stop doing that. Joke's on me. Canyon OP? And I mean, yeah, similarly over here, like we see the Canyon pushing out fully, just complete control of this area. And frankly, I don't know why they're not pushing harder, because, like, what's there to stop them? Holy shit, dude. opens a giant dead lane, so any pushes have to go through counter canyon. Yeah, I don't like muting people because you never know when you're going to have to actually play a game with them. And, like, maybe they're actually going to say something. And it's like, I don't want to be the one where it's like, yeah, my lack of patience caused me to lose this game. I just couldn't handle this child. I'd rather lose and not be annoyed than win. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a time and a place for that attitude. I'm not saying that's the wrong attitude to have, but for me personally, it would drive me nuts. Wow! Wow, the spiders running up here, seeing the dragon's teeth, and deciding not to go for it. They could kill this in like 5 seconds, literally, if they tried, but they would still probably die as soon as they crest the canyon and these Sheldons hit them. So yeah, this is a great case study, actually, in how strong high ground plasma shells are. Because that's something a lot of people know on paper, but I think a lot of people are going to learn it in their bones, so to speak, as they see this happen. I love the spam here. It does a lot, not the least of which is that it gives you vision for the rattlesnake. It also gives you vision for your snipers, which they're now starting to mess up, 2 so far and counting.
Commander has died.
And it's just good, it's strong, you know? It puts pressure on the opponent. Building it at the front, I think is a very good move. I don't know how I feel about these back and forth rallies. I think versus Plasma, I think maybe they are good. I'm not sure, though. I'm not... Oh, you've got one of them on back and forth and 2 of them on straight lines. Okay. Yeah, that actually took a minute for me to, like, parse what I'm seeing. It's a sniper spot with light trans. Where's... whatever. But yeah, this is a good move. Especially also with the pulsar out, you want the accuracy for that. And I don't know if they have pinpointers yet. Let's actually check, do they? You can look at the radar logs to see, and this looked different. So no, they do not, or they don't have enough anyway. Now, pushing out here, yeah, bong closet. Okay, wow, yeah. This also getting shelled. And what's it getting shelled by? Is it the Sheldons doing the shelling? I guess I could have guessed that. But yeah, incredible. Now, big push here out of yellow. This is maybe 5 minutes overdue. Better late than never. Although, actually, maybe not, because now there's like 5 Razorbacks on the field to stop it, which were not there before. We oofing? Ooh, okay, bombing on the canyon here. Now, if you take out big balls, that would be kind of cool. But I don't even know if that's going to happen, frankly. Yeah. Front is kind of fucked. I don't know, actually. Yeah, I think with Razorbacks you're fine, to be honest with you. Blue team double air and still respond late, as usual. Yeah, man. Actually not wrong. Not too late, though. Now, this could just be a medal donation in a sense, right? Because, like, if they can't follow up push through this, then you're just giving them something to reclaim, /res if you feel like it. Super late anti-nuke at front. It's up now, but it took forever. It is double air. Blue has a shitload of fighters. It's not still on fighters, but okay, yeah, basically, let me talk for a minute about why this bugs me with the back and forth queues. Now, the idea is that it's good against plasma rounds because it gets them... Yeah, I miss my Geo. I feel it. I would too in that spot. The idea is that this gets your plasma rounds to miss, because they don't lead the shot as effectively or something like that. But, It also basically means that you're going to cover less ground before you die, because you're giving the opponent more opportunities to kill you. And so if you're doing spam for vision, rather than defensively, it's very bad to do spam this way. For defensive spam, I do think it's actually a good call. Although it arguably also reduces the amount of distance that your spam killing units have to be swimming upstream before they cross the threshold. Yeah, blue team definitely, like, getting by the skin of their teeth here, and I am worried. If I were yellow, I'd be making snipers and nothing but, let me tell you. This is not the queue I would have. It would be snipers and nothing but. I'd be like, I have enough front now already. And I would send tick spam with it. And I would be slow pushing with that, because that is one of the only T2 things that can reliably engage a high-cost unit like a Razorback. Man, these welders so good against those ticks, though. Credit where it's due, that actually is nice to have. I'll give them that. I just want to have the Razorback counter, and I'm not sure they have enough. Okay, they do. So this could end the game here, and this could punish Blue's greed. And just as a sort of moral lesson, I would love to see that happen. We will see if it does happen. This Mammoth pops out right before the lab dies. It is not long for this world. Are you sure about that? Man, this is real good. And the guy who died is already calling for resign vote. Yeah. And this basically, when I said that Drongo made this game unplayable for a year and a half, this is why. It's because everyone was making Aphis and dying. And it was just literally a game of, like, who could be less stupid when both teams are being incredibly stupid. And, honestly, one more Aphis. This either is Drongo or is someone who's inspired by him. So either way, you are to blame for what's happening here. Fucking owned, honestly. And this did not give us a chance. Yep. At least you know it. At least you know it. Or wait, are you saying that that the tech guy did that? Because that was you, buddy. You're the guy whose thin box said front and you thought it said eco.
Self-destructed.
But whatever.
Commander destroyed.
Man, what an interesting situation.
Battle ended.
Let's take this moment to look over, see if there's anything interesting I missed. I love this eco scaling in Canyon. This is so much more room to work with. Holy fuck. This must be so nice. And you never have to worry about your eco players, or excuse me, your Canyon players trying to eco in the same space and sharing one base. There's a clear colored delineation between these areas, which I think psychologically for a lot of the smaller brained players is going to be a very helpful visual aid, I'll say. Also, shouts to Orange for building these in rows of 2. They're still a little bit close together here, but you know, it's okay. This is so much more resilient against, you know, bombing or tons of other things. This is really, really good. I mean, if you were really worried about bombing, you would not be building them on the XY grid, and you'd be building them in horizontal lines so that the bombers have to turn 90 degrees before getting to them, and you would space them out further as well, so that one volley of bombs is fewer of them. You know, meaning that, like, you would have the adjacent rows spacing look more like this and less like this. But these are all minor nitpicks. Over here, this is insane, and I hate it. Yeah, actually, oh, this is so funny. This eco player was on 1 Aphis, and this guy was on 0. So literally, eco-scaling lost these guys the game. And this is like the tightrope walk that you gotta do, right? Is that, like, too much is a bad thing, too little is a bad thing. You gotta know the right amount. You also probably don't want to build your anti-nuke directly next to the canyon, to the thing here. I have seen games where the anti-nuke fires off and hits the cliff. Or what would you call this? Is that a bluff? Is that a butte? I don't know what that is, man. I don't know my geology terms. But I've seen games where, like, you'll have the anti hit a cliff instead of hitting the nuke. And I would position it in a open area, ideally surrounded by buildings so it's harder to EMP for that reason. Let's see. It looks like we were building up to a bombing run here, but we didn't get to see it. I like these basilicas on the front line. This is a nice thing for, like, once you have this really strong established position and you have a good amount of build power there, which you can see we've scaled up to, what is that, 26 build turrets on the front line, which becomes easy to do once you get the consoles out, because consoles out of the T2 ARM vehicle lab are able to build con turrets, unlike the T2 bot constructors. So these guys, if you're playing front and you want to have build power at your front line, they're a great way to not only bring build power there, but also scale it. And yeah, the basilicas, I don't know about building one behind another. I'm not sure how the physics of that work, but I know that they will refuse to fire if they would hit an allied building. So I would continue building them in a row personally. I don't know, though. But look how far the range is on these dudes. And this, by the way, is not unique to new glitters. Okay, it's hard to see the range because it literally hits, I believe, the edge of the map. Yeah, you can see that's the circle. So that's going to fuck everyone up. And I'm not sure why that hadn't already killed Eco, to be honest with you. I don't know if they changed the dimensions of the map at all, or if it's the same height, but yeah, this is definitely a move to copy. And it's nice how the center position is roughly symmetrical. You got slightly rougher terrain on this side than on this side, but other than that, pretty much the same. Yeah, let's dip out of here and see if they're getting another game going. I don't necessarily want to play today because I'm still studying this map and trying to understand it. But, okay, yeah, they did start up. That's kind of what I was hoping for, is I could skip the lobby wait time by just talking for a while. And letting them sort out their shit while I'm not looking. But yeah, let's get into this next game. I believe that we're doing the quote-unquote fair draft in this lobby, which is actually not fair. It favors you based on how good your PC is, so it's actually kind of classist. But that's what passes for fair when you're talking to nerds. You're either a communist or you're completely blind to economic issues, but I'm not going to go any further into that. But, wow, interesting little box here. Oh, because you're playing rand. Oh, that's so cute. It's a dice. Oh, I love that. I'd never noticed that before. Absolutely unhinged to be playing random in the eco spot. You want to be playing Armada there for the cheaper wins. But... and yeah, Mr. Big Balls calling out the play that worked last time, which is build a wall there. Calm drop, nothing else comes to mind? What the fuck is this guy? How to beat Canyon, Negotiator, or Arbiters. Calm drop. Man. I mean, I wonder. I don't know. I mean, I definitely want to watch more games. I wonder if there's like a more OP... actually, no. I was gonna say we should find a more OP Glitters lobby to spectate and see what the OP strats are, but that's just gonna be like 5-minute rushes, frankly. They're not going to be getting into endgame because everyone's going to be pulling every cheese they know to try to keep the game within the game states that make sense to them and avoid figuring out the new stuff. And then as those rushes fail, they will gradually be dragged kicking and screaming into the unknown, and they will actually learn how to play the game against their will, which is a strange approach to have, but that is what you generally see with the higher level players, because to get to be a higher level player, you have to be insanely protective of your OS. And so it's usually the people that are, like, slightly... Are you Armor Cortex? Bro doesn't know.
Battle started.
Okay, let's see. Oh, second time checking. Wow, this is going to be a short game. They are going to be fucked by the 20-minute mark, I think it's fair to say. If you don't got 3 APHIS and a T3 lab, what are you even doing? Bong Closet with the Curious Opener here. I wonder what the ordering is on these things. Oh, they changed the wind. It's max, I think it used to be max 16, now it's max 15. Am I making that up? The wind speed average is about the same. It might have been 12 before. But 11.2 certainly not so bad. Now, we're writing little notes to each other. What the fuck does that say? I don't know, I can't read shit, man. Alright, that quick boost to red is certainly a nice touch. And Acer over here getting that bot lab up. We see a bot lab going up here as well. It's curious to me, because ordinarily I would say at least one Canyon player needs to be going vehicles so that you have access to artillery vehicles. You got your big old mortar tanks, whichever type they may be, which have a very long range and they're useful. If people get entrenched in the canyon, you can dislodge them easily with that. However, if the canyon is this much easier to defend, then maybe it becomes less important to be able to win that range war, and more important to just be able to post up with large numbers of low trajectory plasma weapons like thugs or maces on these high ground areas while you wait for your heavy duty static defense to come online. I think there is actually a case to be made there, and I do think that's interesting. Now this, let's see. Reasonable, out of Mist of Time here. What the fuck? Okay. Bro is on a journey. Okay, yeah, and automatically redirects when the mix gets finished. Are there any specs in here? Okay, actually no. We were talking last round, but no, those people are gone, so that's disappointing. So it'll just be me and you then. But let's see what's going on here. Subjectively, it feels like there's more metal in mid than there used to be. I don't have the side-by-side, I couldn't say for sure. But it feels that way. And it's certainly, I mean, it's challenging, right? Because in terms of map geometry, Canyon is heavily favored. However, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 front mexes for your front Canyon player versus for this guy, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, trivially 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's a big one. So in theory, this guy, if these mexes are denied, you're still pretty much on even economic footing. And if you can secure these mixes early and hold them for a while, then you get a slight economic edge out of that, which if you can scale properly, then maybe you're actually not as unfavored as you think. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm not actually sure how this plays out. Wow, I would have built that on the high ground. I would have walked up and edge built from here to here. But I would also be getting this up first. Yeah, I think building these low ground turrets is just doubly wrong, right? Because you're going to be at a range disadvantage no matter what
Commander,
you do, which is when turrets are weakest. And you're also sort of refusing to contest the area that you know they're going to want to be building their artillery in. Now, oh, red is opposite Canyon over here. This is actually the treat of this game, is getting to see how this plays out. This is red versus Bong Closet. So 29 versus 9 OS. And Bong Closet does seem to have an early edge in the little LLT duel here. This LLT, you can see, has leveled up a little bit and is doing good damage. And arguably red fed into that a little bit by allowing it to fire for so long on that constructing LLT. And yeah, this is where, if it was, yeah, okay. I'm not going to try to coach this, I'm just going to watch how it plays out. I'm going to restrain myself. I am extremely interested here. Now, this Wolverine, this is exactly what I was talking about in terms of having long range in the canyon to dislodge someone who gets in. This is literally exactly what I was saying. And the twin guard here going up with power, build power from the commander and the con vehicle, quite good. It will get degunned. This guy was trying to body block that. Phil was not quite able to body block it in time. What you really want to do is you want to think ahead and put the commander out in front of that turret before you set it in place to start building. Your priority 1 is stand in the right place. Priority number 2 is use your build power, because that way you have a lower chance of your investment getting wasted. As simple as. However, with 2 Wolverines in here, I think red will get dislodged. And Section 8 baby opening shop. Around 6 minutes, realistically speaking, but still ahead of S304 on the eco spot. Holy fuck, this. I mean, look, I don't want to be a hater. I shouldn't be a hater. I do not hold hate in my heart, and sometimes I'm very critical of people because I want to see them do better. But my god, you could do a lot better. Now, this is honestly, this is pretty fun to see how this is playing out, because both, oh wow, same as last game, so many untaken mexes at the 6-minute mark. This is truly unforgivable. This is so shockingly bad. This is truly, like, hundreds and hundreds of metal. that you're missing out on, which if you're almost overflowing metal, maybe you don't notice because you're also not scaling your eco. Chicken 40 needs to learn how to build a building. But yeah, I don't know. Build your metal. Simple as. Also build winds. Ideally build them before the construction turret that costs 3,200 energy, which is 3 times your total bank, which you're not even close to filling. Just get these things right, guys. Come on. Also, these are unbuilt. But yeah, okay, we're not focusing on that. We're watching the map. Now, we see an agitator in a very forward position going up here from red. Now, red does not have radar onto the high ground, and it's not obvious how you would get it. Maybe you could edge build a T2 radar here. Once you get T2 up, I'm thinking out loud here, I feel like that would reach. I'm not sure. Short of that, it's going to be very hard to get a radar lock onto high ground. So you're going to need to manually target this guy, but that's certainly not out of the question, right? Like, that is viable. However, this mace push onto the low ground here is not what you want to see when you're trying to get this up, because this thing does not have that much health yet. And they're just going to focus it down. Good response there. Did they know it was there? Yeah, I'm sure they did. But well done there. This is still unbuilt. I mean, truly, it's this far. I just don't get it, man. But, yeah. New glitters. Walling off here is a questionable decision, given that you're basically precluding your own push, right? Like, you're literally... They're happy to have that wall. They're in a defensive position. They literally just want to hit you from long range from the canyon and not get pushed while they're doing it. And you've just made that easier for them. So I don't get that, to be honest with you. I also don't get building short walls, in front of this mech. Given that's going to be hit by high trajectory shots, so the wall does nothing. This, just all around wrong from Big Balls. Now, over here, Salison has put up an agitator again. Has sort of lost the time advantage. This is going to come up at a comparable time to the other team's one. And yeah, redirecting build power, it auto locks onto the commander. It should not do so in this context. Or I mean, in terms of like mechanics, I don't know if it should or not, but like, that's not what you want it to do, is what I mean by that. You also don't want that thing aiming over here when the push is coming in over here. Now, D-Gun might be what settles this. You have to be so careful not to lose the comm. You gotta be so careful not to lose the comm here. Repair, please. Oh my god, repair. And yes, second attempt at getting this agitator up, it goes down. Bomb Closet on this first attempt with a hugely mismanaged economy. Still not building this mechs. Still gets the gauntlet up first. So yeah, that's a win for the Canyon. Good job, guys. And yeah, we see them now pushing out. My man is at like 1 health, and Darius is like, let me come give you a hug to comfort you in your time of need. That is the worst thing you can do. Not! Why are you moving even closer than that? Like, literally, you're just trying to make 1 comm death into 2. It's a shockingly bad idea. Do not do it. And over here, oh, someone has heard the gospel. Oh, is this is one of the guys that was in Spec Chat last game. Good job. I'm not sure if these are too close together to where you don't get the benefits of rows of 2. I don't remember if this works or not, but this is better, certainly, than building a big cube. This is a big push, and it's the sort of thing that, wow, I mean, truly remarkable. 14, it's almost 1 wind per minute with this guy, which is not ideal scaling. So the obvious thing that was always going to happen does happen. And now this guy can just walk unobstructed into the back line. We need shurikens for this type of a situation. This is why one of your first priorities as air, after you get your baseline fighter screen and your baseline eco, is to get like 5 to 10 shurikens so that you can stop this. No Shuri, LOL. And that's GG. Incredible. Yes, so this is the problem with noob lobbies. You always hope it's going to be just balanced enough that you can see the endgame stuff that doesn't ordinarily come up. Yeah, Chicken 40 deserves, frankly, all the blame for this loss. And it feels bad to say that about a 2 Chev, but it's like you just gotta be real sometimes. Like, it's not gonna do anyone any favors to lie to you about that situation. You need to know what you did and what the consequences were. You know, that's, if you're gonna treat someone like a mature adult, then they need to be able to handle that information. Like, that's, you know? And I'm not even saying it in chat because that would just get people heated. But I will say it here in my own space, which is a safe space for my opinions. Even if that means it's the opposite for bad plays. My god. Yeah, Chicken 40 was objectively the issue. No eco scaling, no build power scaling, no mexes built. I mean, truly not even understanding what the basic objectives of the game are. In fact, after this, I'm just gonna... For ages, I've been thinking about doing a, like, over-explaining a game of Bar video, where I just go into way too much detail in a game against, like, simple AI, and I play it super slow and, like, suboptimally, but, like, with just incredible detail, and then, even despite all of that slowness, I still just kick its ass because, of course. And, like, just making it into, like, an educational thing. I think this might be the game that finally breaks me to the point where I'm like, I need to do this just so that the world can understand what it is that you're trying to do in a game of Bar. Because, my god, this really... this shows you how lost some people are when it comes to trying to understand really the fundamentals, the absolute basics. It's funny that none of these people are blaming the person who was actually the problem, also. I guess it's easier to tell as a spec, but still. Now, yeah, big run in here, gonna take everything out. Again, really nice to see how well you can scale in Canyon, although much less nice to see it all spent on these fucking energy converters. Your ratio should be about 1 to 5. Or actually, on this map it should be even less, because this is 70 energy to 1 metal. Your average wind speed is 11. So a ratio of like 1 to 7, you know, 7 winds are going to give you, on average, slightly over 70 energy. And so that would be a ratio that makes sense. And so having this many energy converters, focusing only on pink here, 38, that would imply that you would have 38 times 7, which is almost 40 times 7, which is 7, 14, 28, 280 wins. And now we have 71. So that's what, like 5x less than you're supposed to have? Yeah, for 70 wins, you should have literally 10 of these guys, and that is this many. So less than half of what you've got now. Significantly less than half, actually. 1/4 of what you have now. So please learn scaling if you're going to play this game. And this is simply arithmetic. This is literally fucking first grade shit. This is like, can you put 2 rocks and 2 rocks together to make 4 rocks? Do you understand what's happening when you do that? Do you get confused when someone says 3 cups of sugar and you get 1 cup of sugar and then you're like, what do I do from here? Like, is that what's happening here? Because, like, the basic breakdown of arithmetic understanding is baffling to see. And I guess, I mean, technically, this is applied math. This is the dreaded word problem. So maybe that makes it harder for people. I don't know. Arbiters here, failing to take out the gauntlet. Red fully just trying to kill Canyon and failing. I think this requires a mindset shift, where Canyon is now defensible, and it's surprising if Canyon gets broken. And what's actually good is pushing up here early, taking these early, holding them as long as possible, not expecting to hold them all game, but just saying, I will have more income with my midline mexes than you have with your 5 mexes. And so, in theory, I should slightly win out on eco, as long as I don't die to the attacks that are coming my way. And so things like plasma shields you could imagine coming into play a lot, and a lot more early in particular. I'm not sure. I wonder if it's worth it to have plasma shields to defend these mexes, if you like do the math on like the energy to charge the shield versus just converting that energy into metal. Like, I strongly suspect that it might actually come out to be close. I think maybe this is better, but I'm very curious to do that math. I just don't know the numbers off the top of my head. Now, Let's see if this guy deguns his own T2 lab. Never mind, it died first. Yeah, this game's over. It's been over for 10 minutes. I'm not even interested in watching it, really, at this point. But, yeah, what do we got going on? Maybe it's time to play one game. Limit testing. It's nice to see someone actually use that term. That's a real word that people should really know. Glitter's the future of bar. When I actually know someone in here. Make it T1 units only. Aw, man, they're starting without me. Whatever. Alright, well, this is a higher OS. Oh, well, maybe if Frugus fucks it all up. I don't understand this psychology. Like, literally, what is it when people do that?
Playing.
Alright, we get to play, dude. Let's see, am I going to be on the team? Okay. Okay. Well, sometimes you have to turn against your friends. Can we please start? And this will be my last game for sure. And then I might, like, take a break, drink some water, and then come back to record that, over-explaining video. I haven't decided yet. I'm definitely going to make that. I just don't know if it's going to be today. And, like, I don't know if I should do it live, or if I should do it, like, not live. Like, I could just record it offline, and then edit it, then post it, or I could do it live, and then edit that and post it. But, like, I feel like if I'm addressing a live audience, then maybe the edit would be a little more clumsy. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to feel that out. Now, let's see. Deltron Z. I don't know what the draft setting is in this lobby. If it was the last lobby, it would be a free-for-all. I don't know what it is here. They're stronger players than me, so I don't mind taking tech, actually, unless they want it. But, like, I'm happy to let them front, and I'll just back them up and get them T2 at a reasonable time and all that shit, you know? Oh, wow. Did we lose 2 already? I mean, fuck, man. How does that happen? 2 down already?
Please
Never
choose
mind.
your starting location.
Okay. I'll take here. I think this is going to be probably the most fun spot to play. Yeah, so I think that in my position, not just getting up turrets and walling up this line, but actively, like, getting up turrets and pushing behind them to take the 3.2, and ideally the other bases as well, but especially the 3.2, I think that's kind of optimal here, right? I think that's got to be my objective. It's like, step 1, plasma bots, step 2, gauntlet, step 3, push in further and take these, and then getting up, man, come on. Just as I'm getting into it. Fuck, man. Just trying to play a game here. I don't even know if I like that joke. Like, that's... I don't want to be... Yeah, this is true. Fucking why, man? Why... I just don't understand these people. You're disappointed, I'm disappointed too. Okay, let's fucking bring this guy. You don't seem to notice that there's 15 people waiting on you, so let's play a little alarm in your headphones just to wake you up. The fact that you just joined a lobby, and the number one thing you should be looking at is apparently not getting looked at. Alright, good vibes only. Ooh, focus up. Now it's about 5 p.m. here, so after this one I am for sure gonna call it. I got places to be, people to see, things to do, shit to talk, beers to drink, a whole life to lead outside of this screen. Just kidding, I'm a fish, but you know. Now let's see what Habgear wants to do.
Please choose your starting
I'll take tech.
location.
I did want this spot, I'm not gonna lie, that would have been fun. Well, this guy's gonna be doing build turret drops. I bet. For scaling the eco, is my suspicion. Honestly, I never felt like spiders were so useful anyway.
Battle started.
It is so weird playing glitters and not having the ground be, like, sandy, reddish-orange. What the fuck is happening in chat here? I love it. I love this game, man. You get, like, people who are crazy in a good way all over the place. You get all kinds of crazy, but a lot of them are the good crazy. It's very fun. To me, at least. And we also, the good news for us here, is that we get the side without the hill this time, which is much nicer, in my opinion, as the eco player. And it's actually nuanced because it encourages you to build your explodey things closer to the front, which is admittedly risky. But sometimes I like taking a risk. Little trick there that I learned from Drongo, so credit where it's due, of putting a little bit of build power onto this, and you do just enough to keep it from decaying. But the idea basically is that since this costs no energy, it gives you time to bank up energy once you start flatlining at 0. Yep, this guy will get the second con out of 3. And I need to be scaling my wind. not actually broken. I'm just
Aircraft
goofing.
spotted.
Actually, I'll send the first one over here because this dude is rich. Or not rich, but rich in OS. I don't know what wires got crossed in my brain there. Oh boy. Oh fuck. Man, oh man. Okay. We're gonna focus fire these fuckers. You know when you're building radar as the eco player, you know something has gone horribly wrong. Oh, guy. And yeah, let's not lose sight, though, of what needs to happen. I'll admit I got very distracted by that harass. But, yeah, let's stay on target here. And the timeout is 10 seconds for something to start decaying, so that's why I was alternating those commands as I did. And now this begins the peaceful part of the game, relatively speaking at least. Nice job cleaning that up with those grunts. And yeah, I like blue, yeah, taking this mechs approximately 20 minutes earlier than that guy last game. Good job. It can be done. I like having blue and canyon because this will be a fun one to watch over, you know? This will be fun to see how this plays out. And now, yeah, this is around the time when I should be booming my comm. I have not done it yet because I'm bad at the game. I'm so distracted by new glitters that I'm, like, not playing optimally at all here. Oh yeah, and we need a metal storage if we're going to be playing eco. And let's get these guys working on that part of the game. And now that we're out of the radius, we can go boom.
You've received new units.
Thank you, my friend.
An allied commander self-destructed.
Yeah, around 300 wind, or 300 energy per second is the benchmark. Anything less than that, and you're not ready for going T2 yet. And that's cutting it close, right? Which is why I'm continuing to scale behind this. And I am going to do my own Nexus first. Just because, to a degree, I'm going to have to self-fund these. So let's see, who paid first? Galati paid first. So you get first in line. And Habgear is up next. No. This guy did not share the transport. Weird. Let's actually maybe go down the line in terms of, like... all out of Goofy. That one's going to you because you're close. Noble 6, you get one too. And then green already has one. We'll do one for the corner here. I think I've actually T2'd everyone here. So I can go back to what I want to do. Oh. Now you've shared this to me. Thank you. Better late than never, I guess. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so... gonna send these guys, spam wins, and then continue spamming wins. This guy will build our first E-converter in a moment here. These guys will pop up along this way. Actually, I won't do it like that, though. I will do it like that. Oh, wow. Man, I want to watch this replay, see that that showdown up close and personal. It is funny how sometimes playing a game you actually see less of the game. You would maybe expect it to be the inverse, although it makes sense when you think about it. But yeah. I do... Shop closing. I do want to know how that played out. After the first one here, I'm going to drop down these build turrets. So we're roughly break even here, but I want to be, I want to have a surplus 0, you know? And that's not just because I want to see it breaking even, that's also because whenever I reclaim, then I get extra surplus that I need to be able to spend, and if you're hitting break even, but you're not going past that point, then whenever you get those metal infusions, you won't be able to do anything with them. Now, better strategy, I'm not going to make the obvious joke here, but it does seem like red is getting the edge in the canyon. Now, I like to... This is a weird thing I do, is I like to build my my first fusion on the same side as my reactors. The APHIS and the converters have to go on opposite sides, but the baby fusion, I like putting it on the same side because it's going to get reclaimed anyway, and it's usually just easier in terms of walk pathing to do it like this. I don't know, that's not a very good explanation, but you get the idea. We're just clearing a little space to expand in this direction soon. Maybe this is the wrong timing for that, actually.
An allied commander has died.
Okay, we lost blue and canyon. Yeah, so this is the first game I've seen where a canyon actually gets broken, so let's see how better strategy does that. We'll do replay review after this game. I think that lack of support from Phil is my guess. But, I mean, artillery also seem to be doing a lot here. Those mortar dudes. So in a way, I'm glad that it wasn't me playing that canyon spot and getting absolutely wrecked by this. If it's a higher OS player that's taking the heat, then at least you can be like, well, at least it's not because they were a noob, right? Like, clearly not a noob over there. So that's a good thing on multiple levels. Now, Headgear welcome to come over trying to assist. Oh, I can just share you mine. And that's called being a good teammate.
T2 unit detected.
Okay, so we got T2 up at front now. Yep, yellow. I have T2'd the whole team. It remains to be seen what they'll do with it. My guy here just finished these outer mixes. Wow. Interesting. Man, this guy... There's a lot of gaming with this guy. Everything is some kind of gaming. We got a whole typology of gamings going on here. I cannot claim to understand it. This, I feel like, is a... Is this what it feels like to get old? I think that might be what's happening here. Getting that, I like to do two fusions, and I don't know if it's optimal, but it's what I like to do.
An allied commander has died.
And let's put these guys on low priority now. I probably should have done that a while back. Man, I'm curious to see how this played out. I'm so interested, actually. I'm not going to ask Blue what happened yet, because I feel like that's rude while they're fighting for their life, but, like, if they die, then I will ask. Because that's always a nice thing in analysis, to get someone else's perspective, and see things from there, because, I mean, basically what you're trying to do when you're watching a replay is you're seeing the game from outside of your own situated viewpoint as a player in the game, right? And, what better way to get outside that viewpoint than by explicitly soliciting other viewpoints, right? Like, it actually does make sense. I actually don't think that's the right move yet. Yeah, you guys build that, you guys build that, and that'll be it for now. And in a little bit, after these wins have paid themselves off, I'm going to have these guys go back and eat them all for metal. Arguably, we've actually reached the point where I should be doing that, but I don't know. These dudes pay themselves off energy-wise in 21 seconds, so we're now at the point where I can net positive by reclaiming them. But it might make more sense to make converters while the wind blows, as it were, and do this. I'll clear these marks also. Wow, red is really popping off here, and this, I think, is that eco advantage I was talking about, permitting outmassing, but I do need to go back and find out how it happened.
An allied commander has died.
And yeah, yellow getting it. Oh boy, that's real bad. I might not be able to finish this APHIS before we lose. I mean, and I'm not going to blame that on me, because frankly, if you're dead at 17 minutes, not much eco could have done about that. That's not my job, to be online at 17 minutes. Just fully isn't. But yeah, let's start harvesting metal here. A little bit of sarcasm there, not my proudest moment, but...
Enemy commander destroyed.
Easy defense on my part. I am going to throw one more up just in case. And that APHIS is online. Wow, you're actually way less dead than I thought. You still have build power, you still have eco. I don't know, man. I think your death has been greatly exaggerated. I'll share you some units, though. Oh, wait, the dude quit.
You've received
Okay,
new
well,
units.
go fuck yourself then. I was gonna be nice to you. Now I'm just gonna fucking take over your spot and show people how easy it is. Oh boy. I mean, we're still probably gonna lose this, let's be very clear about that. Just confirming I can't walk there. Disappointing. Okay, so now I don't actually need this, which means we go back into Aphis. And we're going to put this on repeat. Because in the short to medium term, what we actually care about is having a front line that won't die. And honestly, I think at this point we have enough metal that we can stop eating these for now. We can go back to just scaling. And let's get a T2 con out at the front here. Oh no, we're gonna stop that build queue. If there's ever been a build queue I wanted to cancel, my god, that's the one. We're gonna eat these. They're not efficient at this point in time. We're not gonna try to hold things we can't hold. But I think a jammer back here would actually make a good amount of sense. So let's build that. And yeah, this is not a strong front line. So if I have a strong front line, I can force you to walk back in fear. This artillery possibly doing more harm than good here, but I appreciate the sentiment in any case.
Transport detected.
And yeah, let's get another jammer further up here. And unfortunately, actually no, I can build spam. I was about to say I couldn't, but then I realized that I was just being dumb. But maybe I'll lay it out better than that, but god. I'll do a couple like that, and then a bunch like that, and then just pop them out like that. And then I'll do 5 negotiators. And my T2 con will get a T2 radar up. And then after that, yeah, I think a rattlesnake, man. I was really sold on that from that one game. Oh, how the fuck do you have vision, sir? Go fuck yourself. I will put these guys on high priority. Okay, we're retaking Canyon, so that's good to see at least. That's encouraging. I kind of want to make like an EMP paralyzer dude. Oh, if you're pushing, I'll push with you. If you're tanking the shots, I will absolutely hitch my horse to that wagon. As it were. I don't know why with so much artillery we have so much static defense at the edge of Canyon here. I don't actually get that. And then let's see if one of these guys can just sort of do as much as you can. Yeah, we don't have a Juno yet, but we will soon. Let's back that up. Back it on up. And I wonder if they have, like, stealth shit, you know what I mean? I think I need maybe one of those dudes. And this is one thing that sucks about my situation, is that I have, had, maybe, ARM bots and core vehicles, neither of which can build turrets from their constructors. So I'm having a hard time in terms of scaling that build power at the front. It's so incredibly annoying to me to get shot by units that I can't see, that can see me for reasons I don't understand. Once I get my spam up, everything will be fine. But I'm taking a lot of damage in the meantime while that happens. And yeah, look, I just lose that guy automatically on account of this. I'm gonna rebuild it in the exact same fucking spot because fuck you. Oh yeah, there was a ghost there. There's probably more of them elsewhere. I think they might have nerfed the EMP or something, because I thought that did stop tanks, but it did not stop mine just now. Now, how long is it going to take you to...
Stealthy units
3R.
detected.
Yeah, detected where? I don't fucking see him. See, I think maybe I just bring this dude up to build turrets, right? Like, and I can boost it with something or other. And yeah, you please just continue doing what you do best, which is obviously this. Ooh, air making a play. Let's go. This has a lot of potential, I'll say that. Hey, there's something. There's actually a lot. That's good. That's good damage. Let's get these guys off of the auto group. A little part of that was nice. Wow, that sounded so rude. I meant that sincerely. I just didn't see it. And now, I think let's do Banishers. Oh, I had not thought about anti-nuke at all. I feel like Air would have just seen it if they were going for it. Like, you checked so much stuff. We saw so much of so many players' fronts there, you know? Let's see. This is really good for paralyzing static defenses. I don't know where I want it to hit though. How many of these shots do I have on my EMP? It's got 2 banked up. I can use that. Maybe I'll wait for 3. Fire them all at once. Very tempting, actually, to go for that. And I think T3. I see the Juno shot go off, so I immediately switch from chicks to pawns. And now I'm going to fire this off before it dies. And yeah, this is a pretty good EMP. That kills most of the static defense. Oh, and that's my buddy over there. I didn't even realize. Okay, cool. That's a big win.
2-3 unit detected. An allied commander has died.
Oh, fuck. Where the fuck are those plasma shots coming from? And then air as well. Okay, we died of air,
ready.
GG. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not mad about it. It's a goofy game. I've been looking forward to looking at this replay for long enough that, like, this doesn't even really bother me. I'm down to just get out of here. Let's load that shit up and see what happened. Get me the fuck out of this lobby. Yeah, I think our air player really didn't know how to micro bombers. They don't drive themselves. I'll tell you that much.
Battle started.
Right. So. Yeah, vehicles, I believe, can go through all canyon ramps here. Obviously not this, which nothing can go through, but yeah, these they can handle, I think. To answer that question from Spec Chat. Better strategy opening 1 wind, 2 solar. Classic move. Definitely correct in the case of low wind, which we did not yet super know this was going to be, but it did turn out to be the case. It's very safe 2 solar opening here out of my counterpart in the eco spot, but we're better strategies here we're interested in here. Them and Detective Apex Zero? Ape Zero? Man, fuck you. Fuck you for making some weird shit that I can't even say. Honestly, no forgiveness. That's a weird name. You should do better. But, let's see. Better strategy with the bot opener. And I saw... yeah, that's accurate. You need to get fully past this guy to get in here, rather than getting up here, which is different and new. And frankly, a welcome change. Well... yes and no. It's welcome. I liked that leak because as a higher OS player who's trying to carry, that was an easy way to get one over on noobs. and now I think the noobs are sort of riding their bike with the training wheels on a little bit more. It's harder. There's fewer opportunities to leak on them, which means they need to watch for leaks less, which means they're going to learn about watching for leaks less, which actually arguably makes the whole situation worse for them. But, you know, there's pros and cons to everything. So I don't know. Now, Fantastic Ma actually going and building this turret in a forward position, covering these next mexes rather than the ones you already have, which I think is actually pretty cool. I've never done that in my own games that I can remember. But I like it. Better strategy. Sending out those first grunts. Got some grunts queued up, got some cons, and some rockets. Very reasonable collection of things to be building at this point in the game. Yeah, this early harass going down here, this was not good for us, man. This is truly... I mean, this is bad players playing badly on our side, frankly. The frontliners have fully failed us, to the point where the eco player now has to make ticks. Like, come on, man. But, what are you gonna do? It's like that sometimes. You can't control everything. Now, Detective Ape is moving up here, and, getting that reclaim, moving up towards the front. We're seeing the first grunts now approaching the canyon. This is an interesting take. I don't necessarily disagree in that you would previously see a lot of games sort of senselessly end because a bunch of T3 showed up in Canyon, and Canyon was not ready for that. And the eco player was too far away to get there in time before everything dies. That's a common thing that happens in games on the old Glitters. And I think that that specific game-ending win condition is going to be harder to pull off now. Oh, let's watch these guys. Yeah, they can still leak around here, kinda, as long as you're not paying attention, but not really. I mean, like, that's a good catch. Good attempt and a good catch. But yeah, so to get back on my train of thought, I think, oh yeah, and confirmed, the win went down. 11.9 to 11.2. I don't think that's big enough to necessitate a full switch to solar. I think wind is still preferable. I mean, I'll go into this more, in a separate dedicated resource. But, yeah, Canyon is now the aggressive one. That's spot on, rather than Canyon defending. I didn't realize there was going to be, like, this much discussion in Spec Chat, especially because Goblin was totally silent when I was specking games with them. So, I mean, good for them for speaking up, I guess. Gaming, once again. The gaming never stops with this guy. What is this? It's just fucking strange to me. But anyway, yeah, building the vehicle plant at the front. And probably going to be reclaiming this in the back line, but not doing it yet. Aaron asking if these should all go to Orange. I would say yes. And that does mean that Orange gets 5 and Brown gets 3. And you could argue for a 4-4 split. I could see that case being made, and, you know, maybe it's okay. I don't know.
Commander self-destructed.
But I think that since Orange is closer to the action, it makes sense to give Orange the resources to get into the action. That would be the case that I would make. Edge building a radar here, you'll love to see it. Or is that a Beholder? It's a Beholder. Coward move. Never mind. Fuck you. Absolute loser. Look how far that sees. Nothing. And it's gonna block... It's gonna block a radar from getting built there. I bet you could have done it before, but you can't do it now. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Fucking borderline toxic right there. All for this much vision. What is that? Anyway, focusing up. Better strategy. Got the vehicle plant at the front. Getting those Pounders and Wolverines. Just a 1-1 repeat queue. That's what we're looking at here. I like that a lot, frankly. Especially building Pounders at the front line because they're so dang slow. A lot of advantages to that. Pushing up behind these Dragon's Teeth, knowing that Detective is not going to D-gun through them. The Pounder does get taken out. Janus, good unit. And gets reclaimed by Red, who, by virtue of having built both labs, is capable of getting res bots still. And that's the argument to be made for not eating this lab, right? By the way, Mex is untaken yet again. Why is this Mex in particular so fucking scary? Excuse me, sorry. It goes to this guy. Got so worked up I burped. Yeah, and Headgear's pinging them as well. This goes to this guy, but it also goes to whoever the fuck builds it. And I mean, this is the most important thing in the game. The entire game is about claiming ground so that you can build the metal spots that are on that ground, and defending ground so that the metal spots don't die. And if you claim the ground and then don't build the metal, then you've invested resources into something that you're not getting. And so you've basically bought something. You've bought nothing. You've spent money on nothing. It doesn't matter if you're holding the front if you're not using the front. Okay, Phil building a gauntlet way too forward here. What I said about D-Guns the other game is even more true here. This is alarming. I would have put this further back like that. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I have a strong suspicion about what will happen to this gauntlet, and I'm very excited to see myself proven right. Now, the Wolverines here, I'm curious about... Okay, yeah, their trajectory is high enough that they can shoot onto the high ground no problem, and that's good to know. That's super, super... Yeah, Kindling wondering the same thing I was. But yeah, we might not even need the D-gun here, because these dudes are hitting it pretty hard. This is 4 gauntlets. Oh, 4 Wolverines, rather. Hitting 1 gauntlet. And they take it down pretty fast, frankly. This is what I was talking about getting plasma shields up earlier. I wonder if it's actually viable. Fully going for the D-gun. Fully missing it. I think maybe over here you might have a better shot at that, buddy. But I don't know. Because if you look at the traversability... Yeah, I think this is where you get closest, right? It's F6, by the way, to pull up that overlay. Yeah, this was me protecting my space. I'm like, I want to scale in this direction. Of course, the game did not end up going on that long. But it's like, yeah, bro, you got here, you got here, you got here, you got all this. I mean, literally, why you gotta build here and not here? What is that? What is that, bro? I don't know, man. It's... yeah. But, huge reclaimed field that no one's going for. Noble 6 standing idle here. Phantasmic Maw, not idle, but not engaging with it. Fully building more LLTs. Better strategy. I think the strategy is literally just Wolverines. Pounders and Wolverines. Okay, now we're going into Pounders and Brutes. Still on a repeat queue. But it's with 3 build turrets. These 2 cons standing idle. Interesting. And this is saying, okay, now that I'm wearing down the static defense, the Pounders are amazing defensively, and so they synergize well with the Wolverines, because the Wolverines are good as long as they don't get pushed into. So you stand the Pounders on top of them, you say, we can't get pushed into now, so I will win the war of attrition with long range and high damage. And then, once you start winning that, and you wear down your enemy static defenses, then now it's not just about being able to stand in one place and not be dislodged and deal damage from that place. It's no longer about that, it's now about, can I push forward? Now that the things to stop me from pushing forward have been removed. And that's when you want to go into your assault tanks. And you're going to keep some Pounders in the mix because they're just really good. And especially like a small number of them are really good. They don't scale especially well because the debuff that they apply when they hit, which reduces your speed to 0 and basically forces you to re-accelerate, it's the sort of thing where it's like, I mean, the fact that I mentioned acceleration should be a hint that you're playing with derivatives here. And so, you know, you're going to see an effect that takes place over time, and so stacking that effect doesn't do a lot. It's just like if you're going from full speed to 0 speed, that's impactful. If you're going from half speed to 0, that's less impactful. That's the simple way to put it for people who don't want to think about calculus in their video games. And yeah, this is potentially a huge D-gun here, but it will not be a survivable play, I think. And I think Blue knew that. Frankly, I'm not a fan of walking backward after making that play, simply because that means you're gonna explode onto more of your own stuff. Like, you're killing your con bots by doing this, you know what I mean? And yeah, at this point, Phil has failed to provide any support. Whistlers, very bad choice here, because they need line of sight. They're not high trajectory. And so if you have a hill between you and the things killing you, tell me what the Whistlers are going to do. And this, you need to crest the hill, but good luck doing that, you know? And so yeah, finally now figuring out after 11 minutes how to use the unit that he chose to exclusively build, Phil is going to get some damage on better strategy, who is cloaked on 1 HP here. Do we have a radar to see where he is? No, we do not. So he's going to get away with that, which is interesting. 900 reclaim on the ground here. For 3.5k over here. Now this was a spicy engagement. How are we doing in terms of eco-scaling over here? Do we have T2s to everyone on this team? Yeah, barely, but yes. Over here, similarly. Yep, getting that diffusion up. Let me see. 30 set, yeah, 1k energy versus 1k energy. We're roughly even, and we're both getting our fusions. I think I was doing a little bit better, but whatever. and better strategy, continuing to push in here, keeping all of the Wolverines alive. This is the most important thing, is that it takes them so long to turn around, and they cannot... Ferret Gang? I mean, it's truly, is that like some other language? Is that supposed to be feed gaming? Like, my god, man. It just... I think it's fucked up when someone speaks nonsense. I don't like it. I think it's a miracle that we can communicate in the first place, and I think it's a incredibly valuable skill to be able to communicate clearly, not just in your personal life, but also in your professional life. It's truly probably the most important skill you can develop, and when people take pride in being completely inscrutable, it's like, I don't know. I mean, okay, and there's an aspect of inscrutability that's art, and good art, and leaving things intentionally ambiguous for, like, poetic effect or something along those lines, which is valuable. And that's not what I'm talking about here. But, like, poetry basically uses that lack of clarity to say things that cannot be said clearly. You're trying to push language beyond its limits in a certain sense. Whereas this is not even approaching the limits. It's sort of trying to go for a negative integer underflow. Trying to have so little meaning that suddenly people will know what you mean. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're a fucking idiot, I'm sorry, but it's true. It's... Man, has this guy... Okay, we're gonna do a study here. We're gonna go for every chat message that Blue has sent. I just learned that you can't pull that. We're gonna see if... I have a theory that every single message that Blue has sent... Okay, gaming, not gaming. We're gonna keep a count here. 1 and 1. Okay, that's 2 and 1. 2 and 2. Okay, 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 4. How many gamings do we have here? Yep, 3 and 4. That doesn't count. That was a ping. That's also a ping. That's a ping. Okay, 3 and 5. Yeah, it doesn't count.
Commander
Yep, there's another
has
gaming.
died.
Another gaming. Say it comes out to 5 and 5. Okay, 5 and 6. You get the idea. 50% gaming out of this guy. Like, literally, what the fuck? Find another thing to say. I don't understand it. Oh, we paid T2 and got T2. So that's a mysterious thing. Be upset about that. And now at this point, yeah, Red did not fully push into Canyon. I think that really... fully, you know. Yeah, like, we're seeing a lot of pressure being applied on Canyon here. I think... What are they doing wrong here? Their radar coverage is okay. Where's the radar? They got one here. Decent coverage. And you've got artillery. You've got, actually, frankly, overbuilt artillery. Yeah, maybe that's the issue, frankly, is... Oh, it's also that Red stopped producing tanks. And so Red essentially decided not to try to take this. And did eat that bot lab, which means no more res bots, which means 2K metal stays on the ground. Because Phil doesn't know to eat it, apparently, despite having 2 things here that can. And Blue is too busy building things to not die. Has no comm. Yeah, Blue finally does reprioritize. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Range 710, range 480. We can obviously see who wins that fight. This does feel like one where a couple of fight commands, judiciously applied, would have basically auto-won this for Red. Maybe Red was going easy and didn't want to end the game so quick. Because obviously they did still win the game. Oh,
Commander
yeah, this is when
destroyed.
that guy fucking fed. What was your mistake here? Oh, yeah. Not building a front line. That's what it was. Getting outranged, I guess, by Sheldons. Remarkable. I did not realize this at the time, but pretty much no air out of the other player. Out of Pink here. Yeah, let's get a unit count there. 33 fighters. Unit count over here, 59. 2-to-1 advantage. And decent scaling. 2 reactors versus 1. So, raises some questions about why Hapgear couldn't carry harder.
Commander destroyed.
Yeah, good job with the Shuris, though. I was grateful for that. Oh yeah, and this guy quit out. This is all out of Goofy. It's the person who should take, just going by positions. However, that wasn't going to happen because that's a 15 OS coward who doesn't know how to play a real game. So instead I had to take it, which I don't love. The only thing that slowed me down in taking it is that I didn't notice right away that the guy had quit, because it's just not something that enters into my mind that people can be that weak of mind and will. It's something that I only believe when I see it, you know what I mean? Better strategy doing a good job here, getting dug in with these LLTs. I like the thistle on the edge of the map. I actually do like that. Yeah, Kindling realizing that green is ahead and calling for AA. Fantastic Ma doing a great job with the artillery in mid. This is exactly what this is for. And this is just a clinic coming in from Ma here. Very cool to see. I like the one Arbiter mixed in there. Or is it two? What's the build queue here? Oh, it's not even on repeat. Interesting. But yeah, this is cool. This little run-by here, very painful. Pink has been doing a great job of finding these run-by spots and pulling this off. This is something that the Shuris really, really needed to catch. But obviously they did not do so. Now let's see. 2 rattlesnakes up on the hill for these guys. That's not getting broken anytime soon. There's a lot of cover also to push under. Because that means these guys can't get flanked from this direction. So they can just take a head-on fight, which means it's much easier to micro them to keep them at max range and defeat the units that would otherwise be very dangerous to them. Now, a little wall coming out here from blue, forcing the units to engage with Phil if they want to get through. Good move, I think. Still 1.5k, 1.24k uneaten metal on the ground here. Not a big fan of that. But yeah, I think the short answer is Wolverines are how Canyon got pushed into. And then T2 defenses are what kept it alive. Welders, Fat Boys, Phil actually playing the game instead of spamming missile trucks in probably the worst possible spot to do that. Wow, going up to 3 Rattlesnake here. It's impressive it can fire over the other one. Good to know. Even when it's taking those low trajectory shots, I mean, because obviously I know it can take the high trajectory ones. Oh, and this does have a toggle for that. I wasn't sure if it did. What are we resing? Oh, the comm, good. Great job here. And I mean, yeah, I guess the big point to make is that Red is only now building T2 tanks, right? So the T2 from Red is later coming out, which, honestly, I don't hate it. I don't think that's a mistake. Here's what I'll say, is that Red secured these forward mixes for a long time, cementing the eco lead that they already would have had. And you can see 26 metal per second coming out of these guys, and still at the 20-minute mark holding these, and that's largely because this one is an upgraded one. But basically the point being, if you're putting the front line here and holding all of this, then arguably you can try to push in and win the game, or you can just take your eco advantage and, you know, scale and continue playing. And actually, Red could be doing a lot better at scaling, I would say. I'd be throwing down wins around this build turret, around this build turret. I'd be making a 3rd build turret around here so that you can continue doing that in rows along here. But that's just me. And that would allow you to spend this ridiculous 4K metal bank that you've built up. But then again, who am I to criticize 35 OS? That's still above me for now. Oh, I meant to watch the bombing run. Did that happen yet? Did I miss it? Because I remember the anti-nuke comment coming after the bombing run. But this looks relatively unbombed, which then again maybe just says something about how the bombing run went. Yeah. Oh boy. Phil getting absolutely denied. That looked like an arbiter shot. Now, this was me trying to make something happen. Of course, there's 2 people plus static defenses here, so I was able to take out their front line and whittle that down, but not much past that. I mean, you can see I'm not walking in further here. I'm walking... It's sort of a strafing thing, where I'm basically just trying to take down the static defenses, soften them up, so the next push will be easier. I should have been doing this with artillery, rather than with my frontline tanks. I don't especially like the way I played this. But I was playing from behind in a big way, and also I was playing someone else's lane where I don't have as much contextual knowledge of what's going on. And so a lot of things were, a lot more difficult than they otherwise would have been. Really a shame that I couldn't get any of this reclaim. That's 4K to my opponent. A lot of that comes from things of theirs that I broke. A handful of tanks in the mix as well, but a lot of it is stuff like the Sumos that you see there. So not as much of a feat as it looks like, and also I was able to kill 3 res bots in one shot there, so that's fun. Yeah, these Spectres, that was a good play. These were pissing me off big time. And these, yeah, you can see this really working for my opponent here. This was very effective. What's the... Yeah, decent line of sight on these, you can see. Very, very low health, obviously. Oh, and a plasma shield up here. It's funny, it's actually almost invisible against this background color. That's... I don't like that. Did they change something? Is this a Lightbringer change? It looks awful, man. I'm a level with you. That's not good. You can't tell where it is. I didn't notice it until I saw the things bouncing off it. That needs to be fixed, in my opinion. But not my place to do so. I am but a gamer. Now, long-range plasma cannon coming up over here. And yeah, this is what freaked me out, because I saw these coming at the air player. And this, I think, this is probably better than LOL cannon, right? And just so people are clear, you got options. You got the Ragnarok, 70,000 metal, and then you got the Basilica, 4,500 metal. So do the math yourself, you nerd, on how fucking much less that is, but it's a lot less. And the point is, the one that costs 4.5K, which is less than 2 T2 labs, can hit here from here. So, not to make it sound simpler and easier than it is, but it's pretty fucking simple, pretty fucking easy. Now, let's see what went wrong with this air attack. These bombers, what command do they even have? They're bombing that. Weird, but okay. Now you keep going, you give them a move command. How much have you seen at this point? You know where these are, so please tell me you're going to bomb them. Okay, and apparently 4 bombers is not enough to get it done. So you do bomb them, it does not work. You hit the easy soft target, and that does work, which you could have done over here too, by the way, and this flash damage would have done a lot for you. And yeah, then going over here and crashing. So, could have been a hell of a lot better out of hand here. Nice. Yeah, and then crashing into this. That is one funny thing with bombers, is that sometimes the wreck is enough to set off certain weak units. And that includes wind turbines in rows greater than length 2. Greater than width 2, rather. Okay, this is a ridiculous feat that you should not be doing. Absolutely baffling that these are all just set on fight command to 1 point. So actively not only bunching them up, but stopping them as soon as an enemy unit's in range. Truly just makes me feel like you don't understand what spam is for. And look at the metal pile up. It's actually kind of funny. The shots are killing regs at the same rate that new regs are accumulating. So actually the net metal is coming down slightly, which is kind of funny. Certainly not intentional. I was about to be like, who's this guy making this big tank play in mid? It was like, oh, it's me. You know what I should have done is I should have fucking said, fuck you, Yellow. And I should have just whoop, through Fedage, who's the lowest OS in the lobby, and has like 3 MLTs up as all of the static defense until you get to the Wardens here at the later layer. But I think that if we together, all of this, pushed this lane, GG, right? I do think that. At the time, I did not have the presence of mind because I was juggling eco and front and playing against someone who I actually do know and, know the style of, and I'm trying to like metagame that. And there was a lot going on here, so I was not operating at full capacity. Heyman could have also come up with this, but that's our lowest OS player, who is not necessarily going to be using their brain either. The other thing to bear in mind is that a large part of this, like if we go here, then from... I'll clear all this shit. If we go like... Well, let me hit the right button here. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, there we go. If we go like that, these guys are covering from here to here, right? So that entire arrow is fucked. But if we push like here, then we're going to take less damage. And if we push here, we're closer to this. But actually, Ma appears to have reclaimed all the artillery, or maybe it died, and is going primarily into static defense and T3. So this would have been a great time to be able to strike from this angle, dodge the static defense, hit the T3 land, maybe get a comm or two, and then continue on into other high-value targets. Actually, this one, I think, is almost better to leave this alive, simply because, look at this, 50 metal per second, 900 energy per second almost, and it's doing literally 0. So that's a negative 50 metal drag on the team, which is a huge amount. That's more than half of most of these players' income. So arguably, allowing them to continue making that mistake is better than killing it. But yeah, we did get a good kill here. I think that might have been friendly fire from the Tsar, to be honest with you. And yeah, at this point, the game's over. Yeah, at this point, the game is super duper over. The sniper push is scary, and the bombing run is what really seals it. Who to try and bomb? Whoever you want, man. We got nothing. And it is funny, actually, to see the tables turned, kindling with a higher income than Half Gear on metal, and lower on energy, but, they're basically breaking even, making it work. I think what it is that Half Gear invested too much into that ridiculous... Man, that's a good fucking explosion. That looked really good. I think they changed how the mushroom cloud billows or something. It's more volumetric feeling now. But yeah, good work out of them, making a bombing run actually work. Half Gear could maybe take notes. And of course... Is this replay about to end here, or does it go on for the rest of the game? Because I did quit out at about this point. But I guess I'm getting the full copy from the server here. So yeah, I mean, you can see, putting it on higher speed really does emphasize how fucking stupid this spam is if you're not pushing behind it. You need to have units that are gaining accuracy from the spam, or that are gaining, target locks, or that are, maybe units on this side that are getting distracted, allowing your units to push up, forcing manual target fire micro. Like, just look at this. This looks so stupid. It looks goofy. It looks like an obvious waste of resources. And this is a team that has won and that doesn't know it has won and that does not know how to collect its victory. Which, to me, the answer here would probably be snipers, if I'm Canyon. Or it could just be building a lot of T3. Because you can also afford that. You've got 4 APHIS on the front line, my guy. Like, that's a lot. 4 APHIS in the back line, too, actually. So there's a little bit of... that's the thing, is that, like, if I don't get bombed, we easy win eco. Easy. So that's why I'm a little salty about losing to that, but... I mean, I'm not really salty, but I'm like, yeah, that didn't need to happen, and it did decide the outcome of the game. So it always sucks when it's, like, one big unforced error ends up sealing everything. In this case, that error was Green investing way too much into a bombing run that did way too little. Which ironically means Green probably should have invested more into it to get enough bombers to actually pop an APHIS, instead of putting it down to 20 health next to a bunch of build turrets. But that just meant that Green did not have the juice left over to defend against their counterpart's bombing run, because they'd invested too much and lost all that. And so now... Okay, you know what? Maybe...
Battle paused.
Maybe the replay's glitched because I quit out early, so I'm just going to stop here because we're not learning anything from this. And yeah, we're just going to call it there. That's New Glitters. I gotta say, for all that it's different, I think the subjective experience of playing on it was very similar to old Glitters. I like the new Canyon. I think it's interesting. It definitely changes the roles. People who learned the old rules are going to be unnerved by that. A lot of people are scared of change. And that's understandable, even if it's also like immature and frankly something that you need to experience exposure therapy on, which hopefully this will be that for those people. So there you go. That's New Glitters.